She was just another middle school girl, at least, that's what everyone thought. Behind her bright smile hid a carefully crafted lie, a story spun to win pity and keep her friends close. For a while, it worked, until the mask slipped. When the truth came out, the sympathy turned into scorn, and laughter replaced their concern. Humiliated and betrayed, she started devising a plan for revenge. The story begins with a quiet scene. Sun-hee, a lonely high school girl, stands by the window of her small apartment. Behind her, her parents argue again, a daily occurrence at home. Sun-hee doesn't say a word and heads to school. At school, the classroom is filled with laughter. A group of girls surrounds Young-mi, celebrating her birthday with cake and cheers. Sun-hee watches from her seat, envy flickering in her eyes. Later, Young-mi notices Sun-hee and offers a friendly smile, even complimenting her scarf. For a brief moment, Sun-hee feels seen. Later, she overhears Young-mi and her friends sharing their disappointment because they were unable to get tickets for the upcoming EXO concert in Seoul. That night, Sun-hee secretly searches online. She finds second-hand tickets still on sale, but the price is far beyond what she can afford. The next morning, she timidly tries to ask her parents for money. Her father, exhausted, brushes her aside. Her mother, engrossed in work, barely listens. Desperate, Sun-hee blurts out that she needs money for school workbooks. Without looking up, her mother hands her the wallet for Sun-hee to take the cash herself. Her hands tremble as she rushes to the ATM to transfer the money for the tickets. At last, she has the tickets. The following day, she heads to class and approaches Young-mi, telling her that she has 2 free concert tickets. Shocked and overjoyed, Young-mi and her friend nearly scream with excitement. But how? They ask. Sun-hee doesn't blink. She calmly replies that her cousin works in the management team. They believe her. From that moment, everything changes. Sun-hee, once invisible, is suddenly part of their circle. They invite her to outings and swap makeup and fashion tips. For the first time in her life, Sun-hee feels like she belongs. But the smile on her face hides a secret truth. Their friendship was built on a lie. The following day, Sun-hee appears in class wearing an expensive ring that she purchased. Her friends gasp with envy, demanding to know where she got them. Sun-hee smiles faintly and says they were a gift from her boyfriend. She spins a story quickly, almost too easily. She says that a boy asked for her number near her neighborhood and that he's a student at prestigious Yonsei University. The girls widen their eyes in surprise, but when they ask to see his picture, Sun-hee falters. She explains that they've only just started dating, so they haven't taken any photos together yet. The lie hangs heavy. Later, when Sun-hee tries to ask Young-mi to go with her to the snack shop, Young-mi brushes her off, saying she's tired. Moments later, Sun-hee sees her laughing and chatting with another friend instead. A sharp sting of rejection pierces her chest. Trying to win back their favor, Sun-hee offers to buy snacks for the group. She even tells Young-mi to call the rest of the girls so they can enjoy it together. But while Sun-hee is away, the girls begin to talk. One scoffs, saying Sun-hee is clueless. She doesn't like her, yet she keeps clinging to them. Young-mi sighs and admits that Sun-hee probably knows, but still chooses to hang around. Then they laugh that her so-called boyfriend must be fake. After all, what tall, handsome college guy would chase after someone like her? Another points out that Sun-hee is now imitating Young-mi, even tying her hair the same way. Most of the girls agree. Sun-hee is creepy and they don't want to hang out with her anymore. Only Young-mi softens the blow, saying they shouldn't be so harsh. She probably just has low confidence, she says. But what none of them realize is that Sun-hee has been standing nearby the whole time. Every word hits her like a blade, and a storm begins to rise quietly inside her. Back in class, Sun-hee sits stiffly at her desk. The sound of laughter from the other girls feels unbearable, and a dark thought forms in her mind. During break, when nobody notices, she slips her ring into Young-mi's school bag. Then she goes to Miss Kim and claims her ring is missing. The teacher sighs and decides to check everyone's bags one by one. When it is Young-mi's turn, her face turns pale. She clutches a small pouch tightly to her chest, begging the teacher not to open it. The class erupts with whispers. Miss Kim, growing suspicious, insists. In the struggle, the pouch falls to the floor, spilling its contents. Silence freezes the room. On the ground lies a pregnancy test kit. Gasps ripple through the classroom. Students stare at Young-mi, their whispers rising into cruel gossip. Young-mi's cheeks burn as tears stream down, but no one comes to her defense. The next day, Young-mi doesn't show up to school. The girls immediately begin gossiping, saying she must have been suspended. But some of her close friends are confused. Why had Miss Kim suddenly decided to search their bags in the first place? Suspicion stirs, but no one dares voice it. Sun-hee, her stomach heavy with guilt, decides to visit Young-mi's home. But Young-mi refuses to see anyone. Her mother stands at the door, her eyes full of worry. Sun-hee hands her a practice test booklet, asking her to give it to Young-mi. As Sun-hee leaves the apartment, she hears a scream and sees a body crash to the ground. Blood stains the pavement, a crowd gathers, horror filling their faces. Young-mi's mother lets out a gut-wrenching cry. The girl lying lifeless on the ground is her daughter. Sun-hee's vision blurs, her heart stops. She realizes her plan, her lie, has spiraled into something she never imagined. Young-mi is gone, and she cannot escape the weight of her guilt. That night, Sun-hee flees to the countryside. She wades into a river, the freezing water swallowing her. For a moment, she thinks of letting it all end. But fear pushes her back to the shore. Collapsing onto the ground, she lies helpless. Her life has changed forever. Later, a kind woman finds Sun-hee and takes the girl to a nearby orphanage. There, she hands her a set of fresh clothes. Later, another worker asks where she found her. The woman replies quietly, "She was wandering the streets, soaked to the bone. She wouldn't say a word, so I brought her here." The next morning, the children gather for breakfast. A curious girl named Min Kyung leans forward, asking, "Sis, what's your name? Will you live with us now?" But Sun-hee doesn't answer. Months pass, and slowly, the girl begins to change. She takes on a new name, Sol-ki. The old Sun-hee begins to fade, as if buried with the past. At the orphanage, Sun-hee helps care for the younger children. She cleans and reads them stories. To the others, she seems diligent, even happier than before. One afternoon, she accompanies the orphanage director into town. They stop at a bakery to buy a cake for the children. Before heading back, the director insists on buying Sun-hee a warm new coat. Grateful but shy, she agrees. Inside the shop, Sun-hee suddenly freezes. A group of laughing schoolgirls walks past her. For a moment, she sees Jung-mi's face in them, bright and carefree. That evening, the orphanage holds a small party for one of the kids' birthdays. When it's time for the group photo, Sun-hee quietly steps back, shaking her head. "I don't like pictures," she says softly. But the director and other children tell her to come in for just one photograph, for memory's sake. She hesitates, caught between the past she's running from and the new life she's building. Just then, one of the little ones needs to use the washroom. Sun-hee seizes the chance and offers to take her and quickly excuses herself. The next morning, as Sun-hee does the laundry, the orphanage director approaches with a gentle smile. She gives Sun-hee a bag full of practice books. "I thought you might like these," she says. "It's for the equivalency test, so you can enter high school." Sun-hee lowers her eyes, saying she is unsure if she wants to go to school. A silence lingers before the director adds, "It's your choice. If you want to go, I'll help you." That night, unable to sleep, Sun-hee opens the books. As her pencil scratches against the paper, her blank stare softens. For the first time in months, she feels the familiar rhythm of studying, like a piece of her old self slipping back in. Weeks pass. Sun-hee takes the admission test at a nearby high school. When the results arrive, she passes. The news spreads quickly through the orphanage. Everyone is happy for her, but little Min Kyung's eyes brim with tears. She doesn't want her to leave. Kneeling down, Sun-hee hugs her tightly. "I'll visit once a week," she promises. "Eat well, and don't skip your meals, okay?" Reluctantly, Min Kyung nods, her small hands clinging to Sun-hee's sleeve until the very last moment. Soon, Sun-hee arrives at her new life, the high school hostel. Later, a teacher comes by to distribute the hostel's rules. Sun-hee bows politely and tells her that she is keen to apply to become the floor representative. The teacher glances at her, surprised by her eagerness. "If you're serious, come to my office later," she says. For Sun-hee, this is more than just a role. It's a chance to prove she belongs here. Then, her new roommate, Bang-woo, arrives. Sun-hee greets her new roommate warmly. "I'm Sol-ki," she says. Bang-woo nods and begins chatting casually. But before Sun-hee can say more, Bang-woo's phone rings and she dashes off to meet her friend, leaving Sun-hee alone in the quiet room. The next morning, Sun-hee's alarm blares before sunrise. As the new floor representative, she walks the halls with a teacher, knocking on doors and making sure every room is in order. Later during lunch, the cafeteria hums with noise. Students gather in tight groups, laughing and sharing meals. Sun-hee sits alone. The emptiness feels familiar, like her old life creeping back. Then Bang-woo appears, cheerful as always, and sits beside her. Soon Bang-woo's friends join too, greeting Sun-hee with smiles. They already know she's the floor representative. When Sun-hee asks if they've known each other before, they explain they were from the same middle school. Then they turn the question to her. Sun-hee stiffens, but answers smoothly, "I took the equivalency test. I was homeschooled." Their eyes widen with admiration. "Wow, then you must be really smart. Not just anyone can enter this school." For the first time in a long while, Sun-hee feels warmth in her chest. She laughs with them, joins their conversations, and slowly becomes part of the group. One night they even sneak alcohol into the dorm, giggling as they clink glasses, joking and sharing secrets under the dim light. For a fleeting moment, she feels like an ordinary teenager again. One day, Bang-wul brings Sun-hee along on a photo excursion, where she opens up about her dream of becoming a photographer. The following week, Sun-hee's teacher calls her to the office. Her stomach twists with nerves, wondering if something has gone wrong. Outside the teacher's office, her friends are waiting, all smiles. Then, the news is revealed: Sun-hee is receiving the principal's award. Her friends congratulate her like she's one of their own. Overjoyed, she prepares for the weekend trip to the orphanage. When she arrives, the director and little Min-kyung rush to greet her. Their faces brighten at the sight of her. Sun-hee hands the director a wrapped perfume set, a gift of gratitude. With pride, she begins to share the news about the principal's award. But before she can finish, a volunteer interrupts, asking for the director's help. Sun-hee brushes it off and sits down with Min-kyung to draw together. That's when it happens. A volunteer passing by stops in her tracks, eyes narrowing. She tilts her head and calls out, "Sun-hee, is that you? Why are you wearing a high school uniform?" The air freezes. Sun-hee's heart pounds in her ears. Before she can react, little Min-kyung pipes up, her voice firm. Her name is Sol-ki, and Sun-hee tells the woman, "You've got the wrong person." The woman hesitates, suspicion in her eyes, but eventually walks away. Relief washes over the room, but it doesn't last. Sun-hee's insecurity claws at her. She excuses herself quickly, rushing out of sight. From behind a corner, she peers out, her eyes locked on the volunteer who nearly uncovered her secret. Her hands shake. She hides deeper in the shadows, terrified that the past she buried is clawing its way back. That night, one of the orphanage staff, Hae-jin, quietly hands Sun-hee a missing person poster. On it is her face. Her parents are still searching for her. "You should tell the director," Hae-jin urges. Sun-hee's voice cracks as she begs her to let it go. "I like it here." But Hae-jin shakes her head. "Tell her tomorrow. It's better she hears it from you." Then she walks away, leaving Sun-hee trembling in fear. With no choice, Sun-hee goes to the director. Her voice is small, almost breaking. "Why did you take me in? What if I'm a horrible person?" The director studies her carefully, then smiles with warmth. "You don't look like a bad person to me. Since you lost your parents at a young age, I wanted to protect you." Her words strike Sun-hee's heart like a knife. She wants to confess, but the kindness makes it harder. She cannot bear the thought of losing this place, of disappointing the only person who ever saw her as good. The next morning, the air bites with cold as Sun-hee walks alone, her tears freezing against her cheeks. At school, her friends call again and again. It's the day she is meant to receive the principal's award. But Sun-hee doesn't answer. She sits silently on the bus. A middle-aged woman boards and asks her for help lifting a heavy bag. Grateful, she strikes up a conversation, noticing the disposable camera in Sun-hee's hands. "Are you a photographer? What's your name?" she asks kindly. Sun-hee hesitates. Then, with a shaky smile, she whispers a lie that feels like truth. "My name is Bang-wul." Then the bus pulls away to another city. Once again, she sheds her past like a shadow, stepping into another borrowed life. But deep down, the weight of who she really is clings to her, no matter how far she runs.